Goeiedag en fijn dat u kijkt. Dit is Patricia meets Lifechangers. En ook vandaag heb ik weer een bijzondere gast bij mij in de studio. Een internationale gast dit keer. Ze komt helemaal uit Zürich en daarom gaan we deze uitzending ook in het Engels doen. Ze is onder andere een transformatiecoach, een lifecoach, maar ook een meditatietrainer. Wie is het en wat heeft ze ons te vertellen? Haar naam? Dominique Stelling. Dominique, welcome.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, well, thank you for being with us. It's amazing. So, Dominique, so you are a transform life coach, and also with everything that has to do with meditation. So, I am so anxious to know everything about you.
Yes, and I know that you love transformation as well, and that is a topic I'm very passionate about because I was blessed with an opportunity to study transformation personally in my own healing journey, and it's been a long 30-year process and journey, which I call kind of the school of sovereignty. It's like a school of life, and I now love bringing everything that I learned myself as I went through my healing journey, bringing it together so that I can share these wisdoms that I received from many different teachers and masters over the 3 decades and bring it into one system that I call riding the dragon and living the pure state.
Yeah, you teach all over the world. So I would like to start with the beginning, if that's okay,
Yes.
Dominique, because as you said, you've been having this amazing journey for 30 years, but as all life changers, it didn't came overnight. So tell us a little bit about where you came from. Were you born in Zürich? Can you?
So I was born in Singapore. I am half Asian.
Yeah.
My mother is from Hong Kong and my father is Swiss. But the interesting thing is that my father lived in Asia and my Chinese mother lived in Switzerland. So I had that kind of upbringing,
Yeah.
a very mixed upbringing.
So a lot of languages.
A lot of languages and also different cultures. And so I realize this now as I'm older, that these are ancestral wisdoms that we actually have, that we all have in our lineage, to look back and to see what can I bring into my life now in 2025. So I was pursuing a career in dance and theater, in musical theater, and that's all I ever wanted to do is I wanted to dance. And then I went to America and went to one of those schools like Fame, where you dance and you sang. It was exactly like in the movie. And so my whole body was my instrument.
Yeah.
But then from one day to the next, I couldn't dance anymore. And
What happened?
got a mysterious illness. So I dislocated both my kneecaps during a ballet class. And the next morning, my knees were swollen. And nobody knew why. And to make a long story short, it was a 6-year medical odyssey trying to figure out what it is that I had. But I could never dance again. Yes, and that was the
Awakening.
And I was 18. I was
were
18
so
years
young.
old. I was really, really young.
So your whole life, before you were 18, you were focused on
Just that.
dancing.
Just
that was
performing.
it, and it worked. You were able to go
Yes.
to the United States
Yes.
to dance, and
Yes.
then that's what happened.
And that's what happened.
So how did you deal with that?
Exactly. How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And I said to myself, there must be a way for me to overcome this suffering and understand how I can live with this loss. It's like a pianist not being able to use his hands anymore. So I changed my major to psychology. I was at Boston University at the time. And I did a minor in Southeast Asian religion and philosophy because I remembered the Buddha. Already when I was 12, I did a school project on the Buddha. Why? I don't know. Probably my Asian roots, or it was already in me. I knew there was something about inner peace and transforming suffering. I just felt it. So I began there, and I studied psychology, mindfulness, healing, everything in the pursuit of peace and happiness. And I've continued ever since, and it's been 30 years.
Yeah, and I really like that, because also in the Buddha they say it's that you transform poison into
nectar,
into nectar,
yes.
and that's what you did. Here at Lifechangers, I speak with a lot of people, and there's always this point. There's always something that happens in your life that you're like, wow. But what do you do? But with you've really transformed.
Yes, I love what you just said. It's about transforming the bitter into sweet.
Yeah.
It's turning the pain into medicine.
And it's not always easy because now you sit here over here, a beautiful lady, successful 30 years later, and also for all the people that are watching. And it's good that you say it's been a journey.
Yes.
And I really like to express that, and
Yes.
as we have time to talk about it. Also for everybody that it never comes out of just overnight.
Exactly. It is a everyday process, and it's going inward and seeing where can I transform, where can I transmute, where I can change the bitter into sweet. I like thinking of the honeybee that turns pollen into honey.
Yeah.
It turns the bitter into sweet, and we can do that within ourselves as well. And so how can we use the obstacles or the things that happen to us, use it for us to create something beautiful within ourselves. So it's not about what is happening to you or the circumstance, it's about the inner work. And so the dance became an inner dance.
Okay, because I can imagine, and certainly you've met those people that say, my whole life has been destroyed, I can never do anything again, and they are just sitting in their homes and waiting for their lives to just be over. Have you ever thought, what was it in you? You just said you started to dance the inner dance. What was that power?
Yeah, I believe
Did you ever thought of that?
I went through dark nights of the soul, and I went through moments where I thought I didn't want to go on anymore. This didn't make sense to me, and why me, why me?
Yeah.
It was in the moment when I realized that there is something I'm being invited into to receive. Something wants to be awakened in me. I always knew there was something in me that wanted to emerge, and I call this the lotus in the mud. I knew that it's not just the mud and drowning in the mud or stirring suffering soup. You know, when you're complaining, this happened to me, and then this happened to me, and then that happened to me, you're drowning in your suffering soup, and you keep stirring it.
Yeah.
But I love thinking of the lotus rising. So Master Thich Nhat Hanh, he says, no mud, no lotus. And I am so obsessed about this. So I felt, yes, I'm in the mud, but there's an essence in me that wants to rise. And that is what gives me the strength till this day.
Yeah, and that's also for everybody. The lotus, it blooms out of the mud, and that is also for our lives. So if you can really see that, and
yes,
that's what happens.
Absolutely, and welcome the obstacle. Welcome. What is it in me that wants to awaken, grow, evolve, and thrive?
I like that, because I hear so many people, as you say, a lot of times say, oh, why did it happen to you? And you know what I always say? I said, why shouldn't it happen to you?
Yes. And what can I receive? What gems? So I take people on a hero's journey. And so you go through the abyss, you go through the dark night, but then you come back with these gems. And you emerge triumphant. So I love looking for gems. Or some people say the silver lining. It's the same. It's the hope. But what was it? It was awareness. So I didn't realize, and this is where the meditation comes in. Meditation is not thinking anything. So people say, oh, I can't meditate because my mind goes crazy. So they don't meditate. And that's unfortunate, because meditation is not thinking.
Explain us about meditation, please.
So I would say, in a very simple way, meditation is about observing your thoughts, being aware of your thoughts, being the consciousness observing the thoughts, not becoming the thoughts. When you become the thoughts and become over-identified with them, that's when you drown in your suffering soup. Do you see?
Yeah, I understand.
You're the sadness, you're the anger. But if you are the consciousness observing yourself, having that cloud that just goes by. It's a wave. The emotion is a wave, but you're the consciousness. So I was blessed, and I know this now. I couldn't dance. I couldn't go out. I couldn't drive a car for 11 years. I was bedridden. I was on a lot of medication. I lost everything, but I gained myself. And I gained my consciousness and my awareness. But if I would have been out partying and running around, I wouldn't have that awareness. So I needed to lose everything so that I could just be consciousness observing myself. You see?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So, and it was in the darkness that the light came.
That's right. That's what Rumi says.
Yeah.
It's right. So when you crack open, the light comes through in that darkness. And that's exactly what it was. So, you know, as girls, we want to be kissed awake by the prince. So I keep saying that the insect, the tick that bit me, that gave me Lyme disease, kissed me awake. So rewriting your story. So rather than I got Lyme disease, I was bitten by a tick, how unfair that I was injured by a tick or made sick. I think, how lucky am I? I was blessed by it. I was kissed awake.
That's nice how you say that. And thank you for sharing. Because sometimes it's so difficult for all of us when life hits you so hard.
It is.
And all of us get hit by the darkness, you know, and to get out of it. So thank you for, that's really nice that you were grateful to, because that changed you, because whatever, maybe something else otherwise would have happened. You don't know.
Yes. And we sometimes get so focused on the negative. And nobody, when I was in my healing journey, no doctor told me, let's focus on the energy that heals you. And I do energy healing now. And I learned how to tap in to that flow of healing energy that's in all of us, that makes the blood pump through you, that makes your organs function, that gets everything working in harmony. But nobody teaches us how to focus on that. So we just want the disease to go away.
But that's always, you know, we go to the doctor, and I talk about this many times. I say, I have a headache, and it needs to go, but why did it came there? So the only thing, you take a medication, but it doesn't, the headache is still there.
Yes.
So let me just, so you were in Boston, you were studying all kinds of other classes, and then how did your life go? Did you stay in the United States? Did you go back?
I went back to Switzerland, so I obviously was not a lot of fun to be with because I was bedridden and sick and an invalid. I then ended up in Switzerland after my divorce and had to start over. So I lost everything and had to restart yet again. So there is a theme, losing and being reborn over and over again. And this is something that has made me very confident. So I started again in Switzerland, and I studied all kinds of different modalities, from reconnective healing with Eric Pearl, theta healing, all kinds of things.
Just everything.
All these different modalities. I also became a master myotherapist. So I have a lot of certifications, and I'm still continuing to learn. But I'm noticing more and more that it is this internal movement of energy that is the healing aspect, or the self-healing aspect. So understanding the mind and the thoughts and the subconscious thoughts that really allow us to tap into the harmonizing aspect of ourselves. So the body wants to go into homeostasis all the time. And if you can tap into that and remove all the obstacles to it, that's when you can raise your vibration, where you can support yourself in self-healing and self-harmonizing.
And I think that is something that we are able to look at that. Also, people like you're here now with us in Amsterdam, and we talk together. This interview hopefully will go all over the world. So it is possible, because you were there.
Yes.
It's not like everything just came on a golden platter for you.
No, and I realized I needed to stop wanting to be well. I needed to understand I'm no longer a patient after 27 years of illness on 13
so it's
medications.
Been going on for
on
years.
27 years.
Yeah. So for everybody who is watching right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's really hard to believe. I can show you photos later. My legs were this thin. I could barely walk. There was a point where I couldn't dress or feed myself.
Wow.
I was on really strong medication. I was always in the hospital. It was when I realized that I could start helping people, even in that condition, when I stopped being a patient in that sense. I mean, medicine is amazing, and I'm not in any way saying that we shouldn't, but at some point, it is, can you help your body to heal by going into harmonious feelings? That is something that I became very passionate about, and studying more and more with the Buddhist masters and teachers, where I started to understand how my mind affected my physiology, my biology. Think about it. If you bite, when you think about biting into a lemon, you start to salivate.
Yeah.
When you think of something, you start to cry.
Yeah.
Those are physiological changes that happen.
Yeah.
Just like that. There's not even a lemon here. How does that work?
That's interesting.
So I became fascinated. So I said, how can I become the medicine? How can I start to harmonize my nervous system, my organ function? How can I help? How can I help?
And then, so the total transformation came out of you. You transformed your life. You transformed your health.
I transformed my life, and I started to call this the dragon medicine.
Yeah.
So how can you start to transform your internal elements?
Yeah.
So in Chinese medicine, the earth, the fire, wind, those are all elements also associated with your emotions. Now, if you can master your internal elements and your internal turbulence, well, then you can master the outside turbulence, and then you're riding the dragon.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So then you're surfing on the waves.
Yeah.
You're surfing the waves.
Instead of...
Exactly, instead of drowning.
Yeah.
So you're on the cusp of the wave rather than underneath it.
Yeah.
And so this is something I'm so passionate about teaching my students and my clients, is you can become a dragon rider. So now I'm like, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on. Whatever life wants to bring me, I feel equipped to be able to balance and harmonize within myself. That's it.
That's nice. So you went back to Zurich.
Yes.
And you still live in Zurich.
I still live in Zurich, and I started a practice as a life coach, where I started teaching these principles and also facilitate energy healings and teach meditation. But then when the lockdown happened, I had to close my practice.
Yeah.
And I went completely online. And it was then when I developed the programs, because I said, what can we practice while we're in lockdown so that we can emerge after COVID?
Yeah, so, and
with
we're
skills.
Still growing.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
that's what I did.
that is then again with you. So you had your practice, everything went well, COVID came. So again you had to...
Yes, start again.
Start again.
Yes, and then I lost everything again. And this is a whole nother interview. But there was a moment where it was losing the practice, the car, family situation, everything was going at once. And I remember somebody said to me, oh, wow, that's really awful. And she said in German, du hast kein Boden, which means you have nothing, no ground.
No.
And then I thought to myself, I looked on the floor and I saw the floor. And the chair was on the floor, and I'm sitting on the chair, and I said, but there is a board, and it's right here, and I'm on a chair, and I'm sitting in it. And I felt this internal stability within myself.
The realization.
That actually stability is not on the outside, it's within me. And no matter what I lose, no matter what difficulty I go through, I am stable within myself. My consciousness is unwavering and is stable. Yeah, and this is what I continue to do now on a daily basis.
You do?
I do this on a daily basis.
Because now you're rocking, you know?
We're rocking. We're riding.
We are,
you know, and
we
you
are.
love dragons too, right?
Yeah, I love dragons. Yeah, I am. Dragons are a big part of my life.
For me too. And so I'm now writing a book about riding the dragon. And I had a wonderful coach called Gary Quinn, who you know as well.
Who I know.
And he was saying, you've got to get this out. You've got to get this work out. And I am now in the process of riding the dragon, and I really want to bring this out there.
Yeah, because you know that I was just thinking, where's the book?
Yes, exactly. So it's
I
in
was
process.
thinking
Yes,
that when you're telling your story, because it's not just riding the dragon, but it's like it's riding your internal dragon.
It is.
I don't know if you how that is for you, but I say that a lot of times because for people that know me, I've been through a lot, trust me. And I always say, you know, you have to master also the inner demons because...
Yes.
And everybody, we all have them.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, we sit here, you know, looking gorgeous.
That's right. You know, I say this all the time. One of my slogans is, don't slay the dragon, ride it.
Yeah.
That's really how can we turn these demons into allies. And there's a beautiful Buddhist Lama called Tsultrim Alioni. She's a female Lama, the first American female Lama. And she wrote the book, Feeding Your Demons. And it's all about feeding your demons the nectar of your compassion and making them your allies. And that was a big inspiration for my work. And I also feel that you really need to look inside, into your emotional states, into your demons, and turn them into a friendly dragon that carries you.
That helps you out, because I will look at you.
That's it, yes.
You know, because I think, did you ever talk to one of the doctors?
I did, and it's quite amazing because on my vision board, one of my big dreams was to go to Bhutan, which is an incredible magical kingdom.
Yeah, tell us about that, please.
And it's very high up, and there is a temple nestled really high up in the cliffs. You see it in a lot of coffee table books. It's a bucket list destination. But I could never get there because I was too sick, and I wouldn't be able to even hike or walk or even tolerate the
vibe.
It's Tibet. It's near Tibet. It's in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So I always said one day I'm going to make that, and the dragon is going to carry me. The metaphoric dragon is going to carry me. So I now bring people to Bhutan on spiritual journeys. I'm actually bringing a group now in September.
Yes. I get goosebumps all over.
Because I want to teach people how to meet their inner Bhutan and how they can ride the dragon there. It's also the land of the thunder dragon. So I would love if you would join.
Yeah, I hope
But
so.
what's amazing is when I went for my checkup with the doctor, he just said, I cannot believe that you are bringing people to Bhutan in your condition, in the health that you had. And I am very grateful for the doctors and the medicine that I received. Absolutely, it saved me. I would probably be an invalid now if I didn't. However, I also know that we can support medicine and we can help and synergistically work mind, body, and spirit together. And that's important. But yes, I would say almost a walking miracle in that sense now.
Yeah. So Bhutan, have you been there before?
Yes, I have. So I took a group last fall, and it was absolutely incredible and magical. And I went prior, 1 year before, with my teacher, Lama Tenzin Kalden, and he brought us there on a pilgrimage, and it changed my life. It's the most peaceful, most beautiful place on earth that I know of.
So that's nice. So 3 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yes.
You were there with them?
Yeah, yes.
And now
I'm bringing people there.
You just do it yourself.
Yes.
So see, even with you, it's an enormous transformation.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, it absolutely.
I always like that because I speak and I talk to a lot of people, but it's like if you really know what you're talking about. And with you, I'm like, oh yeah, she knows. She's been there.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there, and we will continue to be there. Life doesn't turn out the way you want it. You can't have it all placed out. And I think that's a shame sometimes also now in sort of these esoteric and spiritual communities, is that we're always trying to manifest something on the outside, the house, the car, the relationship. And we spend a lot of time and energy trying to change the outside so we can feel happy and at peace. And I would like to invite people to turn that around, to find the peace and the happiness, the serenity, the gratitude in the now, no matter what is. No matter what your situation is, can you transform, transmute, can you change, can you alchemize your lower, dense, heavy energies into love and light?
From where it is right now.
Yes.
Instead of, okay, if I win the lottery,
That's
then.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
And what if it never happens?
Exactly. That's it. What if it never happens? And you can create that in the now.
Yeah.
You really can. And that is, I think, the biggest gift that you can give the world and you can give others is your contribution, is your inner peace.
Yeah, that's amazing, Dominique. So you're also going to do something in March? Did you do a coaching or?
Yes, so I teach exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, sorry. I have so many. You've been.
I was checking your
You're
website.
checking out. Yes, I do. So that is called 5 to Thrive. Yeah. So I also realize that some people really want to have tools how to manifest their dreams. First, figure out what is it that you really want? What is it that you truly want? And then what are the steps that you need to do to implement it? So this is kind of more of a coaching program called 5 to Thrive. Yeah. I also have a monthly program called Living the Pure State. So all the people who took Riding the Dragon, they said, what's next? I said, okay, we can do a 12-month program called Living the Pure State, where I teach the 12 alignments. And these are tools to create harmony and bliss within yourself. Yeah. So it's like a mind yoga class online. So people join that as well. It's actually now in the 4th year, and they've done it 4 years in a row because it's like coming to a mind yoga class. Yeah, so I have all these different offerings, and I hope actually maybe to do Riding the Dragon here in Amsterdam.
That would be amazing. Well, we should really talk about that.
We should. That would be great. I actually have something for you.
Oh!
So I have something for you, and I wanted to say thank you so much for having me today.
Wow, thank you. Oh, look. Oh, so, and it's so beautiful.
So it's a jade dragon.
Ik weet niet. Can you see it? Kunt u het zien?
So that is
amazing.
A dragon to be with you and to awaken the dragon energy, to always remind you that the dragon is in you.
Yeah, I am so happy.
And bless your work and bless the transformation that you are helping people make, and all your guests and all your viewers. And it's a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Also, I'm just going to say something in Dutch also, because, I'm just going to leave it in English. I'll tell you later, but I love dragons. Trust me. For everybody that knows me, I am obsessed with dragons.
Yes, me too. And what a synchronicity that we both
and we didn't know that from each other. It's like, thank you so much.
I
really
Patricia.
feel like it's my birthday. So I'm just going to carry this. And also jade.
Yes, exactly. So it's a really beautiful, noble stone as well. And we have that nobility and sovereignty within ourselves. And that's why I also love the jade as well.
Yeah, I think, and it's good to just be yourself and be open and say, okay, this is what happened to me. And maybe also for the people that are watching at this moment and they say, I know, Dominique, but still my life is so difficult. Is there anything that you can maybe say to give some extra inspiration?
Yes, I think that what I always try to ask myself in every moment, no matter what I'm experiencing, is what am I being invited to receive in this moment? So let's say if you're in a relationship that's really difficult, I may be being invited to experience more self-love, or I'm being invited to experience more compassion. Or if you have a difficult boss, you can say, I'm being invited to connect with more patience. So always looking for that nugget, that gift in the situation. I would say that that is something that I would love to share with people so that they know that they can always receive something positive, something benevolent, something compassionate or healing in every moment, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, so when you say that, that is like a total change.
Total change.
Because it's like, okay, we all know the difficult boss. We all know it. And then you go home and you cry. You're like, So instead of, but okay, what's really going on?
Yes, what is really going on? So I am really connecting to my strength right now. So I'm going through a difficult time, but I am finding my strength. And so in the 30-year illness, what did I find? I found my inner stability. I found my resilience. I found my strength.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. I found my dragon.
Yeah, and then every time things were on the move, you were again.
Again. But those were gifts. They were blessings in disguise, you know?
Yeah.
And so to have that hope, to know, and this is the other thing, the last thing, is we are here as, I believe, as a soul having a human experience. And the soul wants to grow and wants to evolve. So if you go with that mindset, you have a growth mindset. You know that everything is here to evolve, to grow and to transform. Absolutely everything. And that is the hope that you can have in every moment.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you look back, we already 30 years later, and if you look back at that little girl with so many different family members from all over the world, are you planning on staying in Zurich, or do you have plans on leaving?
I am open to go wherever the universe wants me to go, but I definitely have reconnected more and more with my Chinese heritage.
Yeah.
So when we came to Switzerland, there was a lot of mobbing and a lot of shame around being Asian. So they used to beat me up in school, and they said I was stupid. The teachers didn't give me the time of day. And there was a lot of shame around my Chinese heritage just because it wasn't accepted. And now I realize the gems, the jade that comes from my lineage, and I'm rediscovering it now and very proud.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and nowadays it's an honor.
It's an honor. All of our heritage is an honor. And I really think if we can look back and ask your family members, what are the wisdoms from my lineage that I can learn about, that's in my template, that's in my body, that's in my soul, and continue on that, and to think, wow, I'm the ancestor in 2025 that made the change. Yeah, we're ancestors. We will be ancestors.
We will.
And so
we both have sons.
Yes, and so it's like, how can we rise and live our life in that way, and be the change and create the change and bless our heritage and bless our cultures. Yeah,
that's a lot to think about. Yeah,
it's a lot to think about.
It's nice to just bless the cultures, bless your ancestors.
Absolutely.
Bless, instead of look.
Yes, you came from that, and you can be the one that made the change. And so there's an evolution also in your family. There's evolution everywhere. That's the beautiful thing. Life is growth. No growth is death.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we're almost at the end of the...
I know, we could go on and on forever.
We could. We will. When you finish the book,
yes,
we have a reason that you need to come
fantastic.
back. So
yes.
I think that will be the first step for that.
Thank you.
So Dominique,
Patricia,
is there anything for now that you said so much, you gave us so much in this interview, but maybe is there anything you're like, oh, you forgot to mention, or...
I think the thing is, how can we as an individual contribute to humanity, to the fabric of humanity, the fabric. How can we bring our best self? That is what I would love to invite people to think about. For everybody's talking about war and peace, and I think it would be so beautiful to just think of how can I create inner peace within myself and have that as a contribution to the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's good to think about it. So, Dominique Stelling.
Patricia,
thank you so much. And this is just a goodbye. No, it's in Holland we say tot ziens.
Yes.
So then we
Tot
say,
ziens.
okay, I see you again.
Yes.
So I hope we will, for definitely.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Really.
Yeah, and for everybody who wants to know more about you, all the information will be on the website.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ja, nou, was weer een bijzonder interview hier bij Patricia meets Lifechangers. Ik vind het altijd bijzonder hoe ook mensen vanuit hun pijn, vanuit het diepst van hun zijn, uiteindelijk ook er iets heel moois en positiefs van kunnen maken. Ik hoop dat u er iets mee kan. Volgende week heb ik weer een hele bijzondere Lifechanger hier bij mij in de studio. Bedankt voor het kijken. Tot snel. Dag!